G'day all, it's Colin from PC TLC and thanks for joining me. I'm on the desktop of Manjaro Gnome and this is the live disk currently we are in. And we've got a hello screen here, Manjaro hello. And you've got links to certain websites, which is the README, the release info, the wiki under documentation. For support, you got forums, chat room, mailing lists, and the project, get involved, develop and donate, launch the installer, or choose whether you want the installer to open up on startup or not, which doesn't affect the live disk at all, so it doesn't matter whether I toggle that on and off because it's the live disk. We can choose to go through the menu here, and I think under other, you've got the option of install. Actually no, it's probably under system tools, the option to install Manjaro, and you also got the option for Manjaro Architect command line interface system installer. So that's a very interesting one as well. What we'll do is we'll check out the link here, make sure that works. So launch the installer. Calamaris will start and just look for any updates, I suppose. So I'm going to go with system language. American English is the default. I will go with that. American English. Next. Australia Perth. It's picked up my time zone. You can choose to change these here by clicking change. But that's good enough for me. Yep. English Australian. Now I'm going to do a manual partition. Currently I have MX19 installed, so we're going to change that. So we've got a FAT32. I'm going to edit that. I'm going to format that, make it FAT32, and it'll be a boot EFI with the boot ESP flags. All looks good. My second partition will be my root partition where Manjaro will be installed. So we'll also format that because I've got another operating system on there. ext4, mount point root, and click OK. And the last one is the data partition, which is nothing on there anyway, but I'll format it anyway. Mount point will be nothing. It'll be just a data partition as an ext4, and that should be done. So if there was data on here, I would just leave that. I wouldn't touch it, I wouldn't format it or anything, and the data will show up when you mount that partition after install. And click next. I like to log in on startup, so I'll leave that blank. I won't check that, and use the same password as administrator account. I shall do that, and next. Now here we get to choose which Office suite we like, because now Manjaro is offering free Office. Most people know LibreOffice, so I will install the free Office, which I did. This is my second install, so I'm going to install free Office just to see what that looks like. I did do an install of this on this computer, but I was messing around with something else, so I could come back and install this again and show you the install process of Manjaro. Let's click next, take free Office, and that'll show you what it's doing. And that's interesting. It's telling me that current is MX19 and after will be MX19. Interesting. Anyway, we'll install that. Yes, install now. So that is the install complete for Manjaro Gnome. We shall finish up here and boot into the fresh desktop. Here we are in the freshly installed desktop of Manjaro Gnome 18.1.0, I believe it is. And we have the Manjaro hello up again, so shall toggle that off to launch at startup because I don't want that to launch anymore. Before we do anything else, let's just have a quick look at some of these links here. And they don't go to websites, it's actually built in. So it tells you a little bit about the hardware and getting help and so forth. Go back home. The release info, 18.1, that's the one. Kernel 5.2, that should take you to the website wiki, which it does. There you go. Forums, chat room, mailing lists, applications. So that was install on the live disk. It's now been changed to applications. So let's click on that one and see where that takes us. So we've got a lot of other things we can install here. Email, Office suites, free Office is installed, LibreOffice Fresh, Microsoft Office Online, Calligra Office. So that's a nice little package installer there, I must say. Text editors, Mousepad and Z. Printing, PDFs. Graphics, GIMP, Inkscape, graphics organizing, which is image viewers, a lot to choose from, videos and movies, Kodi, Parole, audio, Lollipop is currently installed, media recording, simple screen recorder I've already installed. You got OBS, Kdenlive, Audacity, very nice. Chats, file sharing, backup tools, time shifters already installed, and system tools. And it comes with Mint Stick, that's very interesting. Well, actually no, Mint Stick is available to install. So we've got the Pamac CLI and the Pamac GTK. So that's a handy little feature there. So is that anywhere else besides the Hello applications? Manjaro Application Utility is what that's called. That's the one. So it's in the menu. That's interesting. Now what we have here is we have a little shield up here, very similar to what Linux Mint has. We've got the exclamation there. And we have 4 available updates. And we have a package manager. Which is Pamac. Now I haven't done an update yet, so I might just do it through the terminal. Or should we just do everything graphically? Let's try that. Let's go to the package manager and they're all set to upgrade. So let's do that, let's apply that. So we've got upgrades to FreeOffice. So we've got a thing called, I don't know how you pronounce that. B-A-U-H, Bauh. I think people are paid to make names difficult in Linux. Anyway, let's have a look. Firefox upgrading to 69. So let's apply that. Put in our password. Try and do everything in the graphical and keep it simple if new users are watching. Then no doubt they'll want to use the graphical side of things rather than use the terminal. So this Bauh, this application here is for Flatpak and Snap applications, which is very interesting. And I did hear somebody talking about that on BigDaddyLinux live on Saturday, last Saturday, or my Sunday. So I'm very interested to look at that. Let's have a quick look at the wallpapers available in here before that updates, because obviously there's new wallpapers coming through. Some nice branded wallpapers there too, I must say. And there's already plenty of wallpapers in here. I don't know if there's going to be any new ones. Might be hard to detect, but we'll see how we go. Okay, so the system is up to date. So let's just double check that. I'll do it the manual way and make sure that that's all working as expected. Sudo pacman dash capital SYU. Enter that password. There is nothing to do, so that's good. So the package, the graphical user interface package has worked very well. So let's have a look at that. Have a look at the preferences, password. Now there should be the AUR there, so you can toggle on the AUR. Now this becomes interesting with Manjaro because you've got everything in the AUR, and now they've given you a tool to also install Flatpaks and Snaps. Let's have a look at this. So Flatpaks and Snaps. Let's increase the size of this window. So reload the data. So is that all the data we have in Flatpaks and Snaps, is it? I'm not sure. That's a snap and that's a Flatpak as depicted here. Okay, so they've got Zoom as a Flatpak, Telegram as a Flatpak. Can we search? Can we find any more? What would be something that's outside of that? Say Audacity. Search that. So there is more there, but they must be some of the what can you say? So how do we get back to where we were? Just do a refresh. So I don't know what's happened to that. Let's close that and start it again. We have a tray. So that's very interesting. That must be, now that's come up the other way. Flatpaks are now on top. Snaps are at the bottom. So I'm not quite sure how this thing is supposed to work. Is this like a selected, some popular apps or something? What's this thing do? Oh, that just gives you some information on that. Yep. But if you do a search, you can find other things, but it's hard to find your way back to this screen here. So I'm not quite sure how that's supposed to work. Now, actually, that's if we have. Let me open that back up. See, what I am interested in is this one's got Zoom 3.03. Now, if we go to the add remove and let's toggle on the AUR and look for Zoom. Let's do that. So we'll search for Zoom. 3.03. So they're both the same. So interesting that they've given you a selection of Flatpaks and all that, but Archbase has always been well known for its plenty of packages in the Pacman Repos and the AUR. So now you've got even better still Flatpaks and Snaps. So that's quite interesting. I like the look of this Gnome desktop out of the box. Quite nice. It's got a bit of transparency going on there. Now they do have tweaks out of the box. Now I think that's always in the Gnome desktop now out of the box is tweaks. Now the other thing I forgot to mention is we have this menu here. Now we have the activities overview if you press the Windows button, which is the normal thing, and you can choose to move things to different workspaces. So the activities overview is working with the super key, and then you've got this menu here as well. Now I like this idea because sometimes you just want to have a look through the GNOME desktop under the categories to see what's installed, and I find that a better way to do that. Now I'm hitting the super key, but the activities overview is not working while that menu is open. So let's try that again. And then we got this menu here. I prefer to go through categories when it comes to GNOME, because I think it's just an easier looking at what's installed besides just going through this menu here with applications just all spread through. So I do like GNOME, and once you know what's installed, you can just, start typing and then hit your super key, start typing, and it's a done deal. So Firefox, for example, so you don't really need to worry about a menu, because that's the way I use GNOME, is type a lot and do a search for the application. But this is also handy as well. So you got activities overview there as well, tweaks there. So you got some quick links there to certain things. Now the software would have to be this add remove, I would say. Let's check that out. Yes, it is. So that's pretty handy. So let's have a quick look through here. So frequent apps, so it knows what I've been using. So we go back, have a look in accessories, clocks, got the world times. Now it's another thing with GNOME, the world times. Now you probably can do that in the menu. Add world clocks, which is very handy. GTK hash, calculate, digest or checksums. Now I was looking for a checksum checker the other day. So GTK hash, I didn't know that existed. So that's interesting. I have to check that out. So that's got all the different ones, and all you need to do is just grab your file. So that's a nice little one. So I might just check out what GTK hash is available in and how many distros it is available in. That's quite good. I was actually searching for a tool to check the checksums on ISOs, and I just happened to come across one in Manjaro. HP Device Manager, KVantum Manager, Manjaro Application Utility, which was selected apps, a nice quick little reference for popular apps there, I would say it is. So they've had a real major focus on installing apps, and in many different ways in Manjaro by the looks of it, which is quite handy. Maps, notes, password and key manager, software token. I have no idea what that is, and a small software token, so I'm not really sure about that. Text editor, to do, and weather. Steam is under games. Graphics, you got G-Thumb viewer and simple scan. Internet servers there. Empathy, which is a chat on Google Talk, Facebook, MSN, and many other chat services. Firefox, HexChat, Steam, Transmission, and UGET, which is a BitTorrent, I believe. Office, we got the free Office, so let's have a quick look at the free Office. So what do we got? Text Maker, Presentations, and Plan Maker. That's an interesting name, Plan Maker. Now this is another thing someone was mentioning on BigDaddyLinux Live, is the choice of the design, the preferred design of the user interface. So you got the ribbon layouts, and you've got 3 choices of ribbon and the classic menus and toolbars. Now I don't know the difference between this light one and that light. It must be the way they're laid out or something. They look very similar, maybe different in icons, maybe. They look the same. Slightly different way it's set up. Different colour, that's for sure. Let's try the ribbon. Now you can change the design of the user face at any time in Options Dialog Appearance. Okay. Cancel that. Now the reason why I selected the ribbon is because I do use Microsoft Excel at work on the work computer, and it does have the ribbons, so I never used to like the ribbon. I'm sort of warming up to it a little bit. But yeah, the ribbon seems to have a lot of things sort of spread out over many different tabs rather than everything laid out in one area. I suppose the advantage is some of these things are a lot bigger to see rather than just a little tiny icon in a sea of many other icons. So that's the advantage I sort of see. It's just a matter of getting to know which tab you're looking for. So we're in Office, Contacts, Calendar, Evolution for email. I prefer Thunderbird. Programming, Icon Browser, Sound and Video, Cheese, Lollipop, some testing utilities there, Video Capture Utility, Simple Screen Recorder I installed, and videos, which would be Totem Player, I would say, is it? Help is known as Totem. Yep, that's correct. System tools, we've seen some of those. Deconf Editor, Gparted. Hardware Lister, that's handy. LSHW. Execute, should be list hardware. That's interesting. Manage Printing, Manjaro Hello, Settings, SUSE Studio Image Writer, and Time Shift. Now, I thought SUSE Studio would shut down, but I don't know. It's mainly that online thing, I think. Make your own distro or whatever it was. Settings, which would be the same as settings here. Utilities, we got Gnome Disk, Disk Usage Analyzer, Characters, Calculator, Archive Manager, Document Viewer, Fonts, Help, Screenshot, System Log, System Monitor, Terminal and Tweaks, System Monitor, Resources, 1.3 gig of 3.8, so that's 34.7%. Terminal and Tweaks, yep, and Other. Add Remove Software, Caffeine. Clean Up Manjaro Gnome, what's that all about? Will perform, this utility set a vanilla Gnome session. We remove all Manjaro Gnome stuff like extensions and configurations to help you to obtain a vanilla Gnome session. Keep in mind, after perform this action, you need to reboot your system. We will maintain only the default wallpaper theme, icons and fonts. Manjaro Notifier Settings, Settings Manager, Qt5 Settings and Software Updater. And you got links to your home folders. So let's have a look at About Manjaro, About Gnome 3.32.2. So we are up to Gnome 3.4. Now my Debian SID is running 3.4 currently. It's been updated to 3.4. So I'd have to think that Manjaro would probably just wait a little longer and do some testing before that upgrades to 3.4. I believe that's how Manjaro rolls with their updates. Now in the settings, if we have a quick look, actually no, not the settings. We've got all the settings there, but if we go to tweaks and we go to appearance, applications is running the Matcha C theme and the Papyrus Dark Maya, is it? So they've got some special themes and icons for Manjaro, and actually they're quite nice. So there's nothing wrong with the way it looks. I'm not much of a green person, but this one's sort of done not too badly. It's not too much, it's not overly green. And then we have extensions. So that comes with plenty of extensions installed, and one of them is the menu here, which is the Arc menu. So that Arc menu is quite a nice menu. So I like the fact that they've given you a choice. So that's a little bit like Zorin has a menu as well. This one is quite a neat menu, I have to say. It's simple and gets the job done. They have dash to dock. They also have dash to panel. So they've given you those two choices there as well. Desktop icons, GS Connect, so connect your phone. And it does say here, I noticed, that GS Connect is a complete implementation of KDE Connect, especially for GNOME Shell. with Nautilus, Chrome and Firefox integration. It does not rely on the KDE Connect. So if we have a look at this information here, if we click on this cog, actually that doesn't work, does it? Gnome shell extensions. Now you're still going to have to install the extensions and stuff for Firefox if you're going to install more extensions. So GS Connect. Just happened to read this the other day, and what I noticed it said is GS Connect is a complete implementation of KDE Connect, especially for Gnome Shell with Nautilus, Chrome and Firefox integration. It does not rely on the KDE Connect desktop application and will not work with it installed. So you don't want to have KDE Connect installed, I would say, on your phone. Otherwise it probably won't work. So we've got the Pamac updates indicator. So they've got quite a fair bit of extensions installed. So plenty of choice out of the box. So let's check the backgrounds, because and the other thing is with GNOME 3.34, I like the background manager much better. And I also like the fact that they've got the minimize and maximize buttons out of the box as well, which is very handy. So some very nice desktop backgrounds in Manjaro. So just one quick look through the menu, the main GNOME menu. Just check the icons out. So you also got a Manjaro settings manager in here, which is this one here. So you got extra settings, kernel, the kernel, user accounts, time and date, language packs, locale settings, hardware configuration, and keyboard settings. So you can install different kernels if you're having problems with any hardware at all. Language packs, locale settings, user accounts, time and date, keyboard settings, and hardware configuration. So I haven't installed any applications yet. I'm unsure whether to use the Manjaro Applications Utility. Manjaro Application Utility, which allows you to install some applications from there. You've also got the Add Remove software, which gives you the Pamac or the Pacman, and also the AUR, like so. And you've got this BAUH, which allows you to install Flatpaks and Snaps. So there's the three utilities you have there. So here you've got a category listing here, if needed. You've got your Snaps and Flatpaks, and you've got your searching through Pamac and AUR. So there's plenty to choose from. Not sure whether I really need to use Flatpaks and Snaps within an Arch-based system, because pretty much you could find just about everything you need within Pamac or Pacman and the AUR. And I'd have to think that this utility here is just a user-friendly utility that's picking up applications through this one here, through the add remove software. It's just more of a user friendly type one, which has got probably selected apps which are sort of like that come in the most popular category, I suppose you could say. So that's interesting that they got the Flatpaks and Snaps. So people, now the advantage of the Snaps and Flatpaks here is that if you are running a version on here that's probably not up to date or Arch hasn't caught up, you might find that a snap or a Flatpak might be further ahead. That's the advantage. Or you might want to try an older version or a newer version of this that doesn't actually affect the system, because these ones are actually isolated. So I can see the advantage there as well. So that was the install of Manjaro Gnome and a look around the desktop of Manjaro 18.1 Gnome desktop. So I hope you enjoyed the video, hope you found it interesting and informative, and thanks for watching.